A lot's changed on the landscape of sublimation printers since my last "Which sublimation printer should I buy" video from last year. Some old favorites are nowhere to be found, but some new players have entered the game. It's my goal to make each video like this a little bit better each time. In today's video, we're going to dive into the most popular topic in sublimation: which printer should I buy? I've spent hours and hours gathering data, making flowcharts, comparing ink prices, and editing this video to aid you in making a good decision. And here's what I've learned. The first and most important question to ask is, what size will I be printing? If you only need 8.5 by 11, you have a few options. Epson, Sawgrass, and now even Brother have sublimation options. The next question is, are you okay with doing some tinkering to get it to work? If the answer is yes, Epson EcoTank printers can be found as low as $149.99 on the Epson clearance store. Since we're voiding the warranty anyway, I don't know that we mind a recertified printer. If you're in the market for a new printer and have a little bit more to spend, the $199 Epson EcoTank ET2800 series, which includes the 2803 and all those other ones, they're a very solid solution. To convert these printers to dye sublimation, it's really as easy as adding sublimation ink in place of the factory ink. Just an FYI, there is a video on my channel that shows the process of converting the 2800 series to a full-blown sublimation printer. I'll go ahead and link that in the description as well. Keep in mind, while both these options are very easy to convert, you may run into issues with color management. The internet's a great resource, but I don't want you to think the budget route is the same as a turnkey printer with a great profile and everything. There's a little more work to make it all work just fine. Now, if you answered no to tinkering to get it to work, there are still a few turnkey options for sublimation printers. Epson offers the F170 sublimation printer for $399, and it includes everything you need to get started, including Epson ink and even a warranty. Now let's talk about the latest contender, the Brother SP1 sublimation printer. This printer was released a few months ago, and it represents Brother's first attempt in the sublimation market. I haven't messed with one yet, but it looks like a very competitive entry in the sublimation market. Alright guys, let's take a deeper look at this Brother SP1. Since this is the first time it's been mentioned on my channel, we'll dive a little deeper than we do some of the other printers that we've mentioned before. But this is the Brother SP1. As you can see, everybody seems to have it for $399, so I'm assuming that's the manufacturer set price. It does seem to be a smaller printer than everything else. Looks like it's about 17 by 6 by 13, so it's a very low profile, small, compact printer. But yeah, I mean, it looks like it has full size cartridges, so the black cartridge is a little small compared to some of the Epson stuff, and it definitely doesn't have the ink capacity of the EcoTank. But yeah, I mean, overall, I mean, it looks good. I mean, you can use a mobile app to design and print. They have their own like art service and all that. Personally, this is my opinion, I think that'll limit you long term. I think long term you're better off with Photoshop or GIMP or some other graphic design program. But yeah, you can see that it comes with like some sublimation paper and everything you need to really get started. Their sublimation paper is a little expensive. The 8.5 by 1100 page for $35, whereas you can get pretty much anything else for half that. Even like Himidu or A-Sub, which are made in the same factory, you can get 11 by 17 paper cheaper than that. But so you can get the Hippo sublimation paper for, I think this is 150 sheets, and it's $15.99. Another thing about B&H Photo, they're fairly transparent on their reviews. Like, a lot of these people are from other websites and product testers, and you know, there are people that like me that get stuff free or discounted to test out on their channel, so they have a more than positive opinion most of the time. They're not really one to point out the bad. But this mobile app, I mean, yeah, it's probably a good idea when you first get started, but you're going to outgrow that and want more stuff quickly. But I'm sure it'll do things like import art, all that good stuff. If you want something that offers a higher level of support and assistance, the Sawgrass SG500 is a great addition. When you purchase a Sawgrass, there's even a training session to include to help you get the most out of the printer. This includes setup, installation, driver setup, color management, and everything to make it a true turnkey experience. Okay, now let's discuss these three printers, the Brother, the Epson, and the Sawgrass, in levels. So let's look at price, ink cost, and warranty. Brother knew what they had to compete against, so the SP1 comes at the lowest price of $399.99. This is $50 less than the Epson and $100 less than the Sawgrass. Next, let's look at the warranty. Both the Sawgrass and Brother feature a 2-year warranty compared to the Epson 1-year warranty. This brings us to the next huge point, which is probably, I think, the most important point of all, the cost of ink. Epson ink is by far the cheapest of the bunch at 29 cents per milliliter. The Brother is fairly competitive at 76 per milliliter, and the Sawgrass is by far the highest at $2.48 per milliliter. This is over 8 times the cost of Epson ink. I've heard Sawgrass ink goes a long way, but it would absolutely have to at this price. Okay, now that we've covered the 8.5 wide printers, we can go ahead and move to the 11x17 printers. Once again, if you're okay with doing some tinkering, we highly suggest the Epson ET15000. While it will do up to a 13x19, it's worth picking up even if you never use that size. If you look hard enough, you can usually find the ET15000s on sale for usually around $549 to $599. It's worth mentioning that much like the Eco Tanks of the 8.5x11s, you have to convert them using sublimation ink. Although this is a very simple conversion and you just basically add the ink instead of the factory ink, I do consider this to be need-to-know information. Or the ET8550 can be found for $7.99. The difference is that it's 6-color instead of 4-color, so it will require a photo black and photo gray ink in addition to the standard 4-color. In our line of work, I don't know that I can justify paying an extra $100 for the 8550. Keep in mind that both of these printers will require you to purchase sublimation ink to replace the factory ink. Please do not mess up and get the ET8500 confused with the ET8550, as it's a little crappy 8.5x11 printer that's terribly expensive. If you're looking for a true turnkey solution, Sawgrass once again has you covered with the SG1000. It's priced at $1499.99 and includes the same level of customer support and care as the SG500. It's a dedicated sublimation printer that comes ready to print, complete with sublimation ink. Next up, we'll cover the 13x19 printers. While this is technically the same story as the 11x17, with our recommendation being the Epson ET15000, ET8550, or the Sawgrass SG1000. The only thing that's worth mentioning is that to print on the Sawgrass, to print 13x19, you'll need the bypass tray for the SG800, which is pretty pricey at around $215 if you can find it. This puts the turnkey 13x19 Sawgrass to just up to about $1,700. Now on to the big boys. Depending on how big you want to go, the Epson F570 does 24 inches wide and prints on rolls for $24.99.99. If 24-inch wide printing is for you, I think this is the go-to unit. If you're doing bulk sublimation printing, this printer just makes sense. Yes, at $2,500 it's steep, but this printer does pretty much everything you could ever want, comes turnkey with Epson sublimation ink, and the price isn't that much more than a fully loaded SG1000 printer with the bypass tray. Heck, over the long run, based on the ink, you'll save money. Okay, let's say you need something bigger. For 54-inch printers, I recommend Mimaki printers, especially the TS100. I've had a lot of success with Mimaki printers in my career, and I think it's a really good value at $9,995. You're getting a truly capable sublimation printer that does 54-inch rolls. It includes Mimaki's RIP software to help you batch jobs and organize them to fit the media, and it'll be a quality printer for years and years to come that you can run basically 24/7. Hopefully this video has helped to inform you about a good decision about your next sublimation printer. As always, feel free to ask questions in the comments and I'll do my best to address them. If you found this video helpful, feel free to give it a big old huge boop and subscribe for more sublimation and crafting content. Thanks guys, peace.